and welcome to another AQA GCSE revision video. In this video we're looking at the June 2017 past papers. This is the third paper in the higher tier. It is a calculator paper, so we are allowed to use calculators. And we're picking up in question 27, which reads, prove that x squared plus x plus 1 is always positive. Okay, so how I would go about proving it is to say that because the coefficient of the x squared term is positive, then the whole curve opens out at the top. So in other words, it would look something like this. It would be a U-shaped curve. We don't know yet whether this U goes below the x-axis or doesn't go below the x-axis, but the point is, because it opens out at the top, because this coefficient is positive, then that means that it must have a minimum point. And if the minimum point is positive, then everything is positive, because this is the minimum point, it's the smallest point. So if the smallest point is positive, everything is positive. If the smallest point is negative, then some of the values can be positive and some of the values can be negative, and it won't be always positive. So I'm going to say that x squared plus x plus 1 has a minimum point because coefficient of x squared term is positive. I'm just going to do plus VE as positive. Okay, so that's the first line of my proof, if it were. So now I need to find the minimum point. Well, I would just complete the square to find the minimum point. I would say x squared plus x plus 1/2 squared, or 1/4. A half times a half is a quarter, and because I've added a quarter, I've got to subtract a quarter, and then I can add the 1. And now I can factorise this as x plus 1/2 squared is equal to negative a quarter plus 1 is the same as 1 minus a quarter, and if you've got a whole piece of a cake and you subtract a quarter of it, you're left with 3/4, so this is just 3/4. So minimum point is when at x equals negative a half, x squared plus x plus 1 equals 3/4. And I'll say, since minimum point is greater than 0, then actually I'm going to be more clear than that, because I don't want someone marking me down for being pedant if they're being pedantic. I'm going to say, since the minimum point is 3/4 and 3/4 is greater than 0, x squared plus x plus 1 is always positive. And that's my proof. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. If you're taking your GCSEs this year, I'd like to wish you every success with your revision and every success with your exams, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.